It is exactly 9 p.m. East African time. Many thanks for joining us today, being the 2nd of November 2023. We have a lot more for you coming up in the bulletin, but meanwhile, here are our top stories tonight. Tonight, Interior says Kithure Kindiki cautions politicians against instigating and funding criminal activities in the North Rift region as it tours Laikipia County. President William RUTO kickstarts his 3-day coastal tour accompanying King Charles III and Queen Camilla to the Mtongwe Naval Base. And Kayole family in agonies, they call on authorities to help them trace the 11-year-old daughter Marian Waithera, who disappeared last month without a trace. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Josephine Ooko. Be with us as we get you updated with the latest happening in the country. Let's get started. As the war against banditry gathers momentum, security officers on the front line will be supplied with more machinery in the fight against bandits and armed criminals. This is according to the Interior CS Kithure Kindiki, who today met with security operators in Laikipia County. Just a day after touring Samburu and Baringo counties, as the government steps up in effort to eradicate banditry. In efforts to fight crime and robbery, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki landed in Laikipia County early Thursday morning to hold operational and security plans in a bid to counter bandits who have been terrorizing residents in the North Rift region. In his visit, Kindiki warned all political and religious leaders against inciting, funding, supporting and developing robbery activities and attacks, while stressing the importance of the Operation Maliza Uhalifu, which was started 8 months ago to curb rampant banditry attacks.
Wale watu wakiwemo viongozi ambao wanasaidia masuala ya wizi wa ng'ombe na ujangili kuendelea, lazima vile vile tuwachukulie hatua. Wale wanaopatiana pesa kwa majangili, wale ambao wananunua mifugo walioibwa, na wanasiasa vile vile, wale ambao kazi yao imekuwa kufanya siasa.
Just a day after CS Kithure Kindiki visited Samburu County yesterday, 3 people have been reported dead and 1 injured by bandits who made away with animals.
Swala la utekelezaji ama vita dhidi ya magaidi na majangili ambao wamekuwa wakiibia wananchi mifugo na kuwaua katika sehemu hii ya bonde la Ufa, tumekaza kwa kuhakikisha kwamba tumekamata na kuumiza na kuangamiza majangili wengi.
In Baringo County, residents are living in fear amid harassment and constant attacks by Keto rustlers, with the bandits plotting an attack on a GSU camp who were on a patrol.
Katika mambo ya opereshoni, wanasiasa wote lazima wakae kando, na pili, wale wanaochochea jamii kuendesha hii biashara potovu ya wizi wa ng'ombe, siku zao zimehesabiwa. Tutawakamata na wasijaribu kututisha ati kuingiza siasa hapo ndio tuache ile kasi ambayo tumeanza. Tutawakamata wote, na hata jela za Kenya zikijaa tutajenga jela mpya, kwa sababu hao wamefanya mchango mkubwa katika hali ambayo imedorora sehemu hii.
John Matava, Lookuptv. Moving forward, President William RUTO has continued with his development visit of the coastal region. In his 2nd day in the region, President RUTO has commissioned the Mkwiru solar power plant that will supply electricity to hundreds of residents of Lungalunga in Kwale County. The head of state also inspected the ongoing construction Shimoni Fish Port that will be equipped with modern facilities to lift fish farming activities at the coast area, and returned with more.
On his 2nd day visit at the coastal region, President William RUTO made development stopovers in various parts of the region. Early in the morning, the head of state pitched camp in Kwale County, his visit bringing goodies for residents of Lungalunga and its environs. For the first time in years, residents here will now enjoy electricity after President RUTO commissioned the Mkwiru power project.
hii mradi ambayo imetugharimu karibu shilingi milioni 350 itaweza kuwafikishia stima katika nyumba 600 hapa Mkwiro na Wasini. Tunataka kila nyumba hapa wapate stima, na tutahakikisha ya kwamba hata mashule yenu yote imepata stima.
Hawa jamii ya visiwani umewapandisha daraja. Kwa mara ya kwanza kutoka dunia iumbwe, nao wanawasha stima katika nyumba zao. Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi nakushukuru sana kwa sababu ni mtoto wa hapa. Tumekuja mara nyingi hapa, lakini hii ndoto ya stima wananchi ilikuwa imekwama. Kwa uongozi wa Rais, stima tunayo hatuna.
After Lungalunga, President Ruto's itinerary touched down at Wasini Island, the head of state inspected the ongoing construction of Shimoni Fish Port. The project, which will cost the government over 2 billion shillings, is projected to boost fish farming in the region.
Hii fish port tumeweka karibu shilingi bilioni 2.5. Hapa kutakuwa na kiwanda kikubwa hapa Pwani, hapa Shimoni, mahali tutafanya processing ya fish, mahali tutafanya value addition, mahali tutatumia kama soko ya kitaifa na soko ya kimataifa, ndio tuweze kuongeza mapato ya wavuvi, mapato ya watu wa sehemu hii, kwa sababu ndio njia ya kuondoa umaskini Kenya.
Ulikuja hapa ukiomba kura na ukaahidi ya kuwa Shimoni Port utaiendelezesha. Leo hii Mheshimiwa Rais amekuja kutimiza ile ahadi ambayo ameiweka, ama hajatimiza? Kumaanisha sisi Mheshimiwa Rais tunakuaminia na tunakushukuru.
At the completion of the Shimoni Fish Port, fish farmers will enjoy modern fish cooling facilities to help in preserving fish. The port will also serve as a major fish market to boost revenue generated from the fish vending business.
Hiyo rasilimali iko katika bahari hii, tuitumie kupanga ajira ya hawa vijana wetu, tuitumie kupanga mambo ya chakula ya taifa letu la Kenya, na tuitumie kuendesha uchumi wa Kenya kwa kuhakikisha kwamba mapato inapatikana kutokana na samaki.
Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
The visit by His Majesty King Charles III and Queen Camilla entered its third day, with their majesties heading to the coastal region in Mombasa, visiting Mtongwe for a joint Kenya and United Kingdom naval marine training demo at the Mtongwe Naval Base, Likoni, Mombasa County. King Charles and Queen Camilla were accompanied by President William Ruto and the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. Stanley Lugaria reports as the visit comes to an end.
Day 3, and en route to Mtongwe Naval Base at the heart of Likoni area in the south of Mombasa Island, the King navigated to the Naval Base as Captain General of the Royal Marines, using the Likoni Ferry Channel, and thereafter inspecting a guard of honor at the base alongside President William Ruto. With heightened security, the royal family and other dignitaries are expected to camp in the coastal region for 2 days, Thursday and Friday, as the monarch family's state visit to Kenya to celebrate relationship and partnership between the two countries nears its final stages. At the coast, the majesties are poised to witness Kenyan Marines trained by the Royal Marines, demonstrating a covert beach landing, defense collaboration in action.
To provide some of the follow-on training that these Marines, which you're about to see, will have after their basic course. They'll provide specialized training.
They're conducting amphibious landings and section battle drills, and they will now demonstrate a covert amphibious landing.
Before proceeding to meet survivors of sexual and gender-based violence, thereafter, their majesties will finally meet faith leaders from Mombasa's diverse community in a bid to promote harmony amongst the residents of the coastal city. Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv.
As Kenyans continue to raise concerns over the numerous trips made by President William Ruto, his deputy Rigathi Gachagua has today come to his boss's rescue. Gachagua highlighted the importance of the trips, insisting that the trips have been brought investors into the country, thus creating employment opportunities for the thousands of Kenyan youths.
Na rais, tukiwa hapa Mombasa tunataka tukupongeze kwa sababu ile safari umeenda pale ng'ambo imeanza kuzaa matunda hapa Mombasa. kwa sababu ya zile mikutano umefanya kimataifa ya hali ya juu. Kenya imejulikana zaidi. Zile nchi umetembea, wale wageni ambao umekaribisha hapa Kenya. Saa hii tunaongea, tuko na mgeni mfalme wa Uingereza hapa nchini. Kenya imeingia katika mapu ya kitaifa, na kwa sababu ya hayo mambo ya utalii imeanza kuendelea vizuri sana. Tunapoongea leo, Mheshimiwa Rais, hapa Mombasa, kati ya leo na mwaka mpya, mahoteli zote hapa Mombasa zimejaa, na tuko na mkutano ya baraza la mawaziri kesho. Mawaziri wanatafuta nyumba hapa, hawapati. Na hayo ni kusema ya kwamba nchi itafaidika kwa zile hela za kigeni, foreign currency. Number 2, watu ya hapa Mombasa watapata ajira, na tena mtapata nafasi ya kusupply vyakula na mambo zingine kwa mahoteli zetu. Kwa hivyo Rais, tunakuambia wewe endelea kutembea, kwa sababu unatembea urudi mkono mtupu, unakuja na maendeleo. Sasa wale wengine wanapiga kelele. Huyu mwekezaji amesema kazi yake ni kujenga. Watu ya kujenga sio watu ya kupiga kelele. Kazi ya kujenga ni ngumu, lakini hii ya kupiga kelele na kubomoa ni kazi rahisi. So wewe Rais, kaa kwa kazi ya kujenga. Rais ajenge asijenge? Atembee ng'ambo asitembee? Na akitembea akipata kitu anarudi hapa Mombasa.
Away from that, a family in Kamulu is in agony after mysterious disappearance of their daughter, 11-year-old Marian Waithera Karaoke, on 26th September. Marian, a grade 6 student who was to sit for the just concluded KPSE examinations, was last seen in a company of a middle-aged man in the evening of 26th September. The family is urging anybody with information about the whereabouts of Marian to forward the information to the local authorities. Aluda Girls tells us more.
It is within the streets of Kayole that 11-year-old Marian Waithera Karaoke is said to have disappeared on the 26th of September this year. Marian was a grade 6 candidate who was to do KPSE exams that just concluded on 1st of November. According to her mother, Wanja Shiko, Marian was last seen by neighbors in the company of a middle-aged man on the eventful day. After talking to her via phone call, Wanja would later come home only to find Marian gone.
Mtoto wangu amepotea Marian. Niko na watoto wawili, mmoja anafanya form 4, mwingine ndio yeye amepotea. Lakini vile niliingia kwa nyumba nilipata chai kwa meza imejaa kikombe chai na hiyo kikombe ya kunywangi nayo. Hiyo ndio nilijua huyo mwenye ameenda na Marian walikuwa naye kwa nyumba, sababu amenipigia simu ako kwa nyumba. Nikamwambia sasa, nikashindwa venye kunaendelea chai venye nimeipata hapo kwa kina kikombe ya kunywangi nayo. Nikajua mtu wametoka na yeye.
At the time of her disappearance, her father, James Karaoke, was in the neighboring country of Tanzania where he has been working for the past 2 years.
Na nilipata habari nikiwa nje kidogo, nikasikia mtoto amepotea na nikachukua jukumu ya kukuja kumtafuta. Sasa vile nilifika hapa, nimejaribu kumtafuta, kusunguka. Nimeingia police station mingi sana, lakini sijaona usaidizi.
A week later, her shoes were spotted roughly 2 kilometers away from home at Tano area.
Wiki kama 2 hivi ndio tulipata mtoto mwingine wa neighbor alikuja bio kwa nyumba, akaniambia mama Shiko, viatu Marian alienda nazo, kuna zile viatu anashindaga nazo akiwa huku. Kuna viatu zake nimeziona zimevaliwa na mama mwingine hapo kwa barabara, na kulikuwa usiku. Nikamuuliza umejuaje ni hizo? Akaniambia zilikuwa na kaara, kalikuwa kameumwa na umbwa na ni hizo viatu.
According to the witness who saw Marian last moment, said she did not greet her as she is accustomed to, but was smiling, giving her the impression that all was well.
Nilikuwa nimetoka tu kwa jirani kununua maji ya kukunywa na kulikuwa kumenyesha kidogo. So mimi tukapatana na Marian na huyo kijana walikuwa na yeye. Kwanza venye niliangalia kwanza akili iliniambia ni babake. Nikarudi nikaona si babake. Nikafikiria kuna kijana alikuwa anaishi huku. Nikaona si yeye. Sasa kutoka hapo mimi akili tu ikaniambia ni relative.
Efforts to find her more than a month later have borne no fruits. Family is now urging anybody with information about the whereabouts of Marianne to report to the nearest police station. Aludagail for Lookuptv from Nairobi County.
And that story by Aluda Gail takes us to our first break right in Lookuptv. Stay with us. We'll be back with more stories for you.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park, fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
Introducing the Kenya Trade Fair Fusion Sales Drive event in the heart of Nairobi at the Kenya National Archives. It's not just an event, it's sales generation with a remarkable return on investment. Get ready to let your booth do the talking as you study new market trends with lots of entertainment featuring traditional live bands, DJs, and artists. For vendor registration, call 0724 715 334 or 0713 907 584 or 0723 861 173.
Welcome back to the program. We continue where the 27 ambassadorial and high commissioners nominees to various countries by the President William Ruto will know their fate next week when the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations led by Belgat lawmaker Nelson Koech will table a report on their suitability for the job. The 27 appeared before the committee to defend their nominations, with the committee embarking on the drafting of the efforts.
To swear that the information I shall give before this departmental committee.
Thursday, and the final group of nominees for various ambassadorial posts appeared before the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee, which retreats this weekend to draft its report, having concluded the vetting before tabling the report next week when the House resumes from short recess.
What measures will you put in place to make sure that Kenyans who are taken to these countries are taken through some form of training?
Among the nominees who appeared before the committee on Thursday to defend their suitability for the job was Mohamed Ramadan Ruwange, headed to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Lieutenant General Albert Kendagor, poised for the Tel Aviv, Israel, and Mohamed Nur Adan set for the Doha, Qatar.
I see that he has had a remarkable experience of serving in peacekeeping missions. One was in Yugoslavia, which no longer exists. It's now disintegrated into 6 countries, I think. And then you also served in the Sudan, which has split into 2. And now you're heading to Israel, which is waging war against the Palestinians in Gaza. How would you help How would your experience help in contributing to this tragic situation?
Committee Chairperson Nelson Koech alongside Shinyalu lawmaker Fred Ikana insisted that the committee will scrutinize the interviewees thoroughly, as it has until Wednesday 8th November 2023 to table the report for the consideration by the House.
How will you bring, or what will you do, because Saudi is also a major source of oil for our country, what will you do to ensure that the oil located for Saudi is going to get maybe with lower prices, or how will you engage the Kenyan government, Saudi government, to ensure that the oil price is stabilized in Kenya?
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv.
Thank you so much, Stanley, for that report. Away from that, 15 families in Korongoi village, Kapcherop area in Marquette West constituency have been left homeless after their houses were burnt down on grounds of suspicion of witchcraft that started as a conflict between two students at school after one of them tore the other's book, leading to the hostility within the village.
Residents tried to come to terms with an incident that left 15 families homeless after their houses were burnt down on grounds of superstitions of witchcraft. According to Silas Bangetuni, one of the victims, some people were seen breaking into people's houses, destroying property, and what followed was a dark cloud of smoke billowing from their houses and food stores.
Naitwa Silas Kirwa Benjamin. Hapa ni Tembu, eneo ya Tembu. Tarehe 26 kia kilio cha kelele ngambo hiyo. Watu wakapiga nduru. Kuona watu wako wanapiga manyumba ya watu. Nikakimbia. Nikafika huko. Nikaambia watu, mbona mnaharibu vitu ya watu? Wakaniambia, umeongeaje? Mbona unaongea mbaya? Nikaambia sijaongea mbaya. Wakaniambia anza kukimbia ama tukumalisha kwa hapa. Nikakuja, nikakimbia. Nikakimbia kufika njia, nikasikiza. Wengine wakasema kwa hapo, hiyo kijana anakuja anaongea mbaya, ajui tunasafika kwake.
Watoto wenye wanafanya KCB na KCSE na tuko msituni, serikali mtusaidie kweli. Kwa uchungu yenye tunaye ni ngumu, tunalala msituni, hatuna chakula, hatuna chochote. Shida yenye tulipitia ni shida ngumu. Mtusaidie kweli vile mnaweza. Hatuna chochote, hatuna manguo, vitu yote ilichomeka.
Deputy Commissioner Abdulrahman Kanen has strongly condemned the act, asking the residents not to take the law into their own hands, and the matter is now with the police for further investigations.
Uchunguzi unaendelea. Kwa sasa kesi iko na polisi na uchunguzi unaendelea, lakini ni jambo ambalo ni la kusikitisha sana katika karne hii, watu kuchomeana manyumba kwa kisingizio kwamba wewe ni mchawi. Pia ningeomba wananchi wote wasichukue sheria mkononi. Pale kulikuwa na wanafunzi, serikali imewashughulikia, wanaendelea na mitihani yao vizuri, na pia nashukuru majirani ambao walikuja kuwasaidia wale wanafunzi.
Catherine Saina, Lookuptv.
Moving forward, employees at Nakuru post offices held a demonstration citing failure by the management to remit their NSSF, NHIF and bank loans deductions, as well as not receiving their salaries for 5 months remittance to their accounts. In addition, the employees are now calling on the government to ensure a total overhaul of the institution's management through the Ministry of Information in a bid to ensure its efficiency and solve their never-ending problems facing the institution.
The employees at the Nakuru branch held demonstrations citing failure by the management to remit the NSSF, NHIF and bank loans deductions, as well as not receiving their salaries for 5 months. Celestine Obila, the branch secretary, called on the government to ensure that the organization gets new management under the Ministry of Communications so as to solve the never-ending problems faced by the government.
In post office, there are things, there are remittances, the statutories that are supposed to be taken. They are deducted from our pay slips and they're not remitted to where they're supposed to go. There are loans that we were given by the banks. The loans are deducted and never never remitted to the banks. The banks are calling us each and every morning. Imagine somebody who was woken up at the boxes here, and then a bank calls you and tell you you've not paid me. What do you expect this one to do? Is our PMD waiting for somebody to commit suicide so that he sees that this is a very grievous thing?
Just like the Nakuru counterparts, the employees at the Eldoret branch staged similar demonstrations. Led by James Kiptanui, the employees lamented over lack of enough funds to cater for their health bills and food, calling upon the government to hasten the pay process to ensure they're paid on time.
Sisi kama wafanyikazi wa posta, saa hizi, hata saa hizi nikuwe mgonjwa saa hii, I have no money to go to hospital. We don't have any cover. That is it. Nigongwe na pikipiki hapo kwa barabara, hiyo ni maisha yangu na mwisho. Labda nililie nyumbani ndio anitumanishie pesa. Nimeuza mpaka yule kuku wa mwisho, kifaranga wa mwisho, mwenye amebaki ni paka na mbwa. Na naona very soon mbwa yangu naona iko na market, na naona nitaiuza so that I can facilitate myself to come to job and do service to mwananchi.
Ebikadenyi, Lookuptv.
Two suspected robbers have been killed by angry residents after they were suspected of robbing residents of the Goto area and other areas of Kikuyu sub-county, Kiambu County. Most of those affected by the cases of robbery are the university students who have lost electronics and other important documents. Ruga Ival with the details.
According to the residents, most of the victims are still nursing injuries and others have become lame following the serious attacks. It is alleged that the thieves have been using motorcycles to rob them different commodities such as phones, money and jewelry, and then disappear using the motorcycles.
Hasira za mwananchi kama amenyang'anywa, zile hasira anakuanga nazo, alikuwa na hasira, tukajaribu kusema tungojee serikali, lakini kuna watu walisema hapana. Hao watu wametuhangaisha sana, sababu kuna watu wako mahospitali washadugwa na visu. Kuna watu hawana mikono, washavujwa mikono na hao waizi. Na kuna pikipiki ingine bado ya red. Hao wako mpaka na buduki. Wanaenda na buduki. Ukikutana nao, wanakuambia weka simu hapa chini ama tukupige risasi. Sasa sisi tukiwa raia, tunaona ya kwamba afadhali sasa tujishukulie mikononi mwetu sababu wanawake wetu hawawezi enda kazi.
Confirming the incident, Kikuyu Deputy Police Commander Evans Maseye said that those who were killed by citizens were some of the most wanted criminals in the area. However, the Deputy Commander has called on Kenyans to cease from taking legal action into their own hands.
Watu kama hao wakishikwa, ita polisi wakuje ndio waweze kupelekwa kotini, wachukulie sheria vile inatakikana. Tumechukua hatua madhubuti kupiga doria kila mahali. Tumeweza kutumia tactics ambayo siri ambayo asiwezi kujulikana wananchi na walivu pia, sababu sana sana wakitembea na uniform utaona ni kama wataweza kutoroka mapema. Kwa hivyo tumeweka mikakati.
Both bodies have been taken to the city mortuary, while the remains of the boda used to commit the crimes have been taken to Kikuyu police station. Ruga Ival, Lookuptv.
Thank you so much, Ruga, for that story. Away from that, a row is brewing in the Embu border sector after two groups clashed over the leadership of the sector days ahead of the planned launch of the strategic plan by the operators. Trouble started when Manyata MP Gitonga Mukunji met with the border leadership from his Manyata constituency upon their invite, only for the other group to dismiss the meeting and in support of the businessman who is preparing ground to host the incumbent. The border operators have, however, cautioned against being used to settle political scores.
The conflict among the boda riders in Embu County arose after two groups differed on leadership issues a few days after claiming to be isolated by their Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji. The row seems to have deepened with the two groups taking political sides, one supporting area member of parliament with other supporting a local businessman eyeing the MP seat in 2027.
Kama sasa ni wakati wa mvua, tukienda kuangalia vijana wengi tunabebea kwa mvua. Kwa hivyo ile kitu tunahitaji kutoka kwake ni atuletee maendeleo, sio kutupiganisha tu. Katika ile dina governor ambaye ameorganize ya kutafuta pesa ya kusaidia vijana wetu wa bodaboda, kwa sababu kwa hiyo mpango iko kitu inaitwa kama NHIF ambayo vijana wanajaribu kuhimizwa wapate. Na pia governor yuko nyuma hiyo mpango, ambapo governor wetu alisema vijana mtakuwa mnalipiwa 150 na nyinyi mnajilipia 150. Kwa hivyo mimi ningeomba mjumbe wetu, tafadhali wewe wacha kuleta mambo yako ya siasa kwa watu wa bodaboda. If you want to score kwa watu wa bodaboda, sio kutupiganisha, ni kutuleta pamoja na kutuonyesha maendeleo.
Elsewhere, Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has called for an amicable solution in a land row between KDF and locals in Isiolo County. The KDF soldiers are seeking to relocate over 20,000 residents living between Lewa River and Isiolo River in the Burat area, citing expansion of their training ground.
One of the counties that we have got serious bases, our School of Infantry, School of Artillery, and many other 78 tank, we have it here. We have lived with the people of Isiolo since 1980, and we had a small dispute. We have agreed with the governor and the entire leadership and the women rep and the entire leadership of Isiolo County that we will resolve it, and we will resolve it to the best interest of the people of Isiolo and to the best interest of Kenya Defence Forces.
Wrapping up, leaders in Narok County have been urged to provide food aid and assistance to those displaced from the Mau Forest. Frederick Kiriasek, a youth from Narok County, says they were aware of the boundary demarcation discussions, lamenting failure to be involved before the relocation.
Nobody has ever addressed this. We have never had the CS coming out clear about this. We've never had the members of National Assembly. We've never had the MCS visiting that area. No notice served. So to us, this is a kind of mistreatment, because you cannot evict people without giving a notice. No notice served. And it is a hard time. We were expecting El Nino. So this is inhuman.
Bridget Agola, Lookuptv.
Welcome to some sporting action right in Lookuptv. The Posta Rangers shared their spoils after 1-1 draw against Kakamega Homeboys at the Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega County. Moses Shuma netted for Kakamega Boys in the 17th minute before Bernardo Diek's equalizer for the league leaders in the 13th minute. Posta Rangers now lead the log with 20 points, 1 point ahead of the reigning champions Kogalo, who sit second with 19 points. On the other hand, Patrick Odhiambo's led side, Kakamega Homeboys, lie in the 10th position with 12 points.
One thing I can say is that under the conditions, because the condition was not bearable at all. A lot of water, the ground being logged, and I think we've given a good show, because we tended to play a different ball game from what we are used to, because again there was a lot of water on the pitch, and I think with the 1 point we can be in a position to plan, and I love the spirit of my boys.
Maisha bila majeruhi na kila mtu kwenye afya zake, lakini katika upande wa mchezo nadhani point moja tumepata, si nzuri sana kwetu, maana tuko nyumbani, tuko nahitaji point 3, lakini yote 9 tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu. Not really, tumefungwa na set piece corner, which it's so unfortunate. Tumeongelea sana, tukaenda deep into details mpaka tukataja the same player yule mwenye atafunga hiyo corner, and it comes to the game amefunga. So ni kitu si nzuri, maana mkienda mali kwa details hivyo mpaka mtaje mchezaji yule anaweza funga na deploy watu wa kuwakaba tena afunge, inaonekana si kitu nzuri. So tutazidi kutia bidii, tutazidi kupambana ili at least next game tuweze kupata positive.
Kenya men's hockey team was knocked out of the 2024 Olympic qualifiers in the ongoing games at the University of Pretoria in South Africa. Kenya was hopeful to advance in the semi-final against Ghana after being thrashed 3-1 in the quarter-finals. Ghana will now Egypt in semi-finals after finishing second in a poll with 6 points. LeBron James scored 35 points and grabbed 12 rebounds as the Los Angeles Lakers rallied from an early 19-point deficit and ended 11-game losing streak against the visiting Los Angeles Clippers with a 130-125 overtime victory Wednesday. Anthony Davis produced 27 points and 10 rebounds, and D'Angelo Russell also had 27 for the Lakers, who improved at 3-0 in home games this season. The Lakers defeated the Clippers for the first time since July 2020 in the NBA bubble near Orlando. And that is it from the news right here at Lookuptv. Many thanks for watching, and those who have been watching from home. And of course, we'll be expecting your comments. Stay tuned in the next subsequent bulletins. My name has been John Matava. Our sign language interpreter has been Josephine Oko. Have a good night, but then stay with us.